Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. And just want to brighten up the place. Let's get into this conversation. I did talk about this previously with Diddy, Sean Combs, Love, Puffdaddy, Puffy, whatever his name. You know, anybody that has that many names, all of those different aliases, isn't that usually a cover up for something? I never understood that, but most people just usually just went with the flow, accepted it, but it's weird. And I got this information and I wanted to talk about it because I previously talked about how he has, at this point in time, 30 years later, 25, whatever, decided to give his artists their publishing. And a lot of people were celebrating it on social media, giving it applause, giving it the clap, saying, oh, this is so amazing. But at least one of the artists at the time, he came out and said that this is nothing, it really is worthless at this point. Why don't you just pay your artists like you have been known not to do it now, and that would be seen as a little bit honorable, even though it would be like after all this time you do it. But he's got the money to do it, but why not? Because he claimed that he could have sold the catalog, the publishing, for a lot of money, but he decided to give it to the artist to say, go make it work, right? But Aubrey O'Day from the group danitykane, she came out and she did an interview and she discussed this a little bit. And I want to play what she had to say about it. So let's just go ahead and get into this.
I just want to throw you the facts, okay?
Sure.
The deal that we were offered, and when I say we, not every artist got it. Like Day 26 did not get it. But this is what it is. You can have your rights back to your music after Puff went under and somebody else bought our catalog. Basically, we only get the amounts due since Puff went under and somebody else bought our catalog. Basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So, streaming for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
So that you just got recently for this thing?
I got it a few months ago when he started doing
this. In the news now.
So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote at a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1 million times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay? It's hundreds of dollars. So to me, when I read this, I'm basically feeling like you're presenting yourself as the benevolent God that's giving everybody back their music. You've turned down millions of dollars to give the millions back to the people. This is the honest to God. You can read from our attorney.
Yeah.
This is the honest to God agreement of what I'm being offered. A few $100s to sign away my rights to ever tell the story of what I went through again. And Hulu tells those stories, and streaming, so Netflix tells those stories. And there's so many paychecks. I offered girls, I called all of them. I offered some of the girls, hey, if you need $800-900, I'll give it to you. Don't sign this. This is just a way to get you to never be able to publicly speak about what we have experienced. And to my knowledge, allegedly, there's only 2 of us from danitykane that did not sign this deal.
And were there 5 originally?
Yeah. And it seems like a lot of other people are too, but you don't see them talking about how great, and maybe the deals are not the same that we're being offered. I don't know, but in this email, it does say the money that you're getting is not coming through Puffy or Combs Music. This is a deal with Sony Music.
Okay.
Sony would be the ones that were paying us, EMI and Sony.
And then you'd be getting the money back from danitykane music.
I would get any money that the songs I wrote on that were streamed make, which is a couple $100. This is not the money that we made when we released the albums. This is not the $48 million that 2 platinum albums got somebody. This is just some measly streaming money in order to stay hushed on Puff.
All right, guys. So you heard that. And listen, that does not surprise me. It's sad to hear it, but it doesn't surprise me. I am assuming from her releasing this information about the NDA that she is one of the 2 people out of the 5 that did not sign the NDA, because she said for those who got it, she reached out to them to say, look, if you need, $800, $900, $1,000, I'll just give it to you, but don't sign this because it's not worth you signing away pretty much your rights to speak out if you choose to share your story, sell your story, make money from your story. That old saying, pay me for my pain. She, I'm assuming, was one of the 2 out of the 5 that did not sign. If I had to guess, I could be wrong, but if I had to guess, I would say Shannon, the other Caucasian chick from the group, is probably the other one that did not sign. So I'm thinking that the short chick, Andrea, D Woods, and definitely more than likely Dawn signed, because as you have heard, Dawn and I think her name was Kalina, I could be wrong, who did the Dirty Money stint with Diddy. I believe they're working with him again. So I highly doubt that she is one of the 2 that did not sign if she's still working with him. So that's really sad that this is what it has come to. And I don't know, again, like she said, I can't say that everyone received this, but this is definitely what we got for our group. So I don't know. Other people, they may not have had to sign an NDA, but based on how whatever his name works, they more than likely signed paperwork that they may not have even realized that they were signing an NDA saying you are going to keep your mouth shut about what you experienced. And if you do choose to open your mouth, open your notebook, your journal, write, and try to write a book to share your story, then I'm coming after you. Legally, I just would not be surprised if everyone had to sign something like this in order to get their publishing. And so, listen, guys, when I heard this, I said, yeah, okay, here it goes. Because we already heard one of the artists, Mark Curry. I talked about that, how he came out and said that, it's worthless at this point. Why don't you just pay us? Don't give us the publishing. Give us the paper, the money. But she said something else. She said at the end of the day, we're all just willing to turn a blind eye. Diddy is just literally known as a guy that doesn't pay his artists. And it's funny. And then you move on and you like something that he did on TikTok or Instagram because he's quote unquote funny. But for people that worked for 6 years of their life and entered an industry where somebody made $48 million, and we didn't even see a penny of that. We were in thongs and 5-inch heels for years of our lives on stage, and not any of it did we see. When she breaks it down like that, that's pretty sad. Now, I don't know if she has any plans to write a book, share her story. She did mention Netflix. I would definitely be interested to see what she has to say. I know she's been on a a hot mess expressed for several years with her and Donald Trump Jr. and them having an affair and her exposing how they slept together in a gay club bathroom and all this other stuff. But, that's her personal life. She chooses to live it how she chooses to live it, fine. But if she decides to come out and share her story, I'm quite sure there's somebody that would be willing to pay her the money in order to share a story. And I'm quite sure a lot of people would be willing to listen to it. I don't know. But him coming out and saying that, quote, I decided to reassign publishing rights to the whole catalog in May or June of 2021. And the news is just now coming out because it took time to finalize everything. But this was during the time that I was holding the Grammys to task. I was also getting major offers for the catalog during the acquisition frenzy back then. But it's like, yeah, it took a lot of time because you had to get those NDAs written up so that they are legal, I'm assuming, as well as you're covering almost everything that you can think of to protect you, your brand, and your family. Because to hear that she said they can't even say anything about his mama. Like, what? They can't even talk about his mama? I mean, I know people don't want people talking about their mama, but they put it in an NDA to say, you can't talk about my mama. You come out and say something disparaging about Janice Combs and her platinum blonde wig, that I'm coming after you. Like, oh my God. And it's not funny. I'm just trying to make light of it, but I know that it's not a light-hearted situation because I can't imagine. I never had any desire to be famous, but I can only imagine being someone that felt like you got this major breakthrough to become an artist on his label, and you feel like you're doing well. You hear that the numbers for the sales of the album is doing well or whatever, and you're struggling. And you're seeing him living lavish, and you're working your butt off. You're traveling, touring. Like she said, you're on the stage wearing thongs and 5-6-inch heels, and you're not really benefiting off of that. It's like an extremely discouraging situation. And I couldn't even fathom, because I just know how it's like just in regular business period when you work really hard and it just seems like things aren't really working out in terms of the work effort that you're putting into it, and you're not really seeing what you put into it happen yet. You keep going in hopes that things are going to work out, but then it's like, what's going on? So I can't even imagine going to those efforts where you are known, people recognize you and know you, you're famous, but you're broke. And so it sucks. I hope that she does do something and turns it around for herself, those who decided not to sign the NDA for the publishing. And maybe those who signed it and they got their publishing, they're going to try to make lemonade out of the lemons of this situation. But we shall see. I don't know, maybe other people like Mase and the estate of Notorious B.I.G. and Faith and, those more known artists, maybe they got the same NDAs too, but they had an attorney to review it and negotiate it and had some edits and red lines some things and crossed some things out and said, okay, we need to have this edited. We need to have this taken out. We need to put this in here. Maybe it's possible they did those things before they were willing to sign anything to get the publishing. I don't know. But at any rate, this was definitely revealing, and I'm not surprised. This man has just been so, his character has been so crooked from what we have seen displayed over all of these years. And for him to say this decision to give the artists back their publishing rights, this was around the time that I was holding the Grammys to task. If you think back, when he came out and he was trying to hold the Grammys to task, Mase checked him, and Mase pretty much did an essay, social media post about that. So during that time when Diddy was trying to call out the Grammys, Mase responded to him on social media, not behind closed doors. And so he said, for example, you still got my publishing rights from 24 years ago in which you gave me $20K, which makes me never want to work with you as any artist wouldn't after you know someone is robbing you and tarnishing your name when you don't want to comply with his horrendous business model. However, people would always ask what's up with Mase. So I would be forced to still perform to not look crazy when I was getting peanuts and the robbery would continue. And Mase had even offered him $2 million to buy back the publishing rights to his music, and he denied it. He said no, asking him for more money. So he said in that post, give the artists back their money so they can take care of their families. So, him trying to look like the Good Samaritan now, saying, yeah, this process started a couple of years ago when I was holding the Grammys feet to the fire. And and Mase called him out during that time. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't mention that. He didn't say, what Mase said touched my heart, or I felt convicted, or my conscience got the best of me after Mase brought up some really good points. Like, he didn't mention any of that. He's just making it seem like, oh, yeah, it took a couple of years. We had to get all these things together, but now it's finally done. But yet and still, he's being devious about it by getting these people to sign these crooked NDAs, So the thievery, in my personal opinion, it continues. And unfortunately, some people just don't have the fight. And I get that, because when you feel like you're going up against a machine and they've got all of this money, like, what's the point of even trying? So I definitely understand that. But he's no Good Samaritan. I'm glad that Aubrey came out and shared all of the details of this, because, yeah, obviously she was not one of the ones that signed, because if she did, I highly doubt that she would be out here sharing this information, right? So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.